Hello, guys, and welcome to Women of Worship episode 3. I know I say this every single time, but I seriously just get so excited to record. Even though I don't really have the time for it right now, I still this is such a great joy for me, and this is my passion, and this is my purpose. And I'm so excited to be sitting here with you guys on my couch at almost 10 o'clock at night and doing this podcast. And so, welcome. I am so glad that you are here. Um, yeah. So first things first, can we just how cute. My friend made me this sweatshirt, Women of Worship. It's absolutely adorable. I literally love it so much. And yeah, I'm obsessed. What a sweet gift. What a sweet present. It was absolutely precious. And so, yeah, life update with me. I got a new job. Yay. How exciting. I'm so excited. I'm still personal training on the weekend, but I am working at a law firm right now, and I absolutely love it. I started on Monday. It's only been a few days, but it is seriously amazing. It's my first big girl job. A little scary, but he's got me and he is working through me, and I'm so excited. I even today was walking, and I was talking to one of the paralegals, and she was talking about her faith, and it was just so incredible to just watch her overflow about how much she loves the Lord, and just basically allow herself to be a resource for me, not only for work, for any questions I may have, but just spirituality and just having that strength there. And so it's definitely a God thing. I'm super excited. It's really amazing. And so that's a little life update for me. I'm going to be really honest, guys. I did not plan to do my podcast tonight, so I don't have a plan. My life's been really crazy, and I feel like I've had obstacle after obstacle just thrown at me, and peace has not been very present in my life, unfortunately, even though that's literally what I talked about last time. Funny how that happens, isn't it? Funny how he attacks. Um, but I was going to serve tonight at my church fellowship in Dallas, and it's absolutely amazing. I love that church, and the second I walked in, I just was overflowing with love and just just felt so good to be there, and just felt like home. And so it was really great. And I started to talk to one of the girls, one of my friends there, and she is just the sweetest thing ever. And we're kind of going through some similar situations. She's going through some stuff that I went through previously. And she was talking to me, and she does some social media stuff. And she told me, she was like, yeah, Satan is attacking us really hard. She was like, and he's going to get you to stop posting, and then you just fall off. And I was like, you're right. You were right. I said I was going to take a little break because I'm just exhausted. I have so much homework. I'm so behind, and I was supposed to come home tonight and do that. And the second I got in my car, it had been hours since we had talked about that. And I got in my car, and he was like, go home and record. And I was like, what do you mean? I have forums due, I have a 15-page paper due, I have another 6-page paper due. What are you talking about? It's the end of my 8 weeks. And so my head is just spinning, and a new job, and oh y'all, I'm stressed. And then my dog is sick. We were at the emergency vet last night forever. And yeah, so needless to say, I did not prepare anything. I honestly don't even really know what I'm going to talk about, but I know that he's going to work through me. I know that he's going to speak through me, and I am ready to get started. For some reason, breakups have been really heavy on my heart, and I don't really know why. I've been praying about it, and I just keep getting this breakups. And I mean, I don't even know why. Ever since my breakup, I really have been totally stable and completely fine, and really gotten the closure that I have prayed for and been seeking. And overall, it ended on fantastic terms. And so I don't know why breakups have been on my mind. And everybody keeps asking me, are you okay? Are you really okay? How are you so okay? And I think that's really important to address, because breakups are really, really difficult, especially this day and age. You talk about marriage, and especially a Christ-centered relationship is, obviously we're dating for marriage. So I'm not going to date you if I can't see you being my future husband or your future wife. And so that can be really, really difficult to picture life without them whenever you were forming a life between the two of you. And yeah, so breakups have just been really heavy, and I just felt like it was something that I needed to address, especially in a biblical sense, because breakups in a biblical manner are just so much different than what the world says, because they're like, get revenge, go look hot, go make yourself the best you can be, and rub it in their face, show them what they're missing. And babe, they know what they're missing. They know, and that's okay, because they just weren't for you. And I think that's one of the things we have a really hard time accepting. Is like, you don't need to prove anything. Why do you feel like you have to prove anything? And that's something that I used to struggle with, as I was like, oh, I want him to see me. I want him to see me doing better. I want him to see me being happy. And I didn't have that reaction this time. And it was really amazing, the peace that I felt after my last breakup. I felt solid. I felt whole. I didn't feel like my whole world was falling apart, which is typically what we do. Emotional women, we fall apart. We feel like our whole world just shattered. And I'm here to tell you right now that if your world crumbles when a relationship ends, your security does not lie where it should. Your identity does not lie in your creator. You are not confident in your relationship with the Lord, and you do not trust him in the way that he trusts you. And yes, God does trust you. And that is something I'll get into in a whole other episode, but I will say right now, God trusts you. He put you on this earth to pursue a purpose, and he trusts you with that. What an honor. What an honor. Especially in all of our unworthiness. I'm getting off topic, but the one thing about breakups is just having that animosity and that almost hatred. And as Christians, we're obviously not called to hate, we're called to love. And I think that it is so important to remember that the first thing is that you're two sinners. You are two sinners coming together, trying to be the best you can be for Christ. You're not going to be perfect. You can't expect them to be perfect. And you can't be upset when it doesn't work out, because you're not perfect, and you're not perfect for each other. And that is okay, although it is so hard to accept. Another thing is that regardless of how the breakup went, regardless of what happened, regardless of how they treated you, what they did, what you did, the fights, the I don't know, whatever you may have had going on, they are still your brother or your sister in Christ. Period. That is it. No matter what, no matter if they were a believer, no matter if they were a follower, it does not matter who they were. You were still put on this earth to love them anyways. And I think that's something that we often forget. Like, how how can you hate someone who is your brother in Christ? How can you hold anything against him when the Lord has never held anything against you? And I can promise you, you've done things probably way worse than they ever did to you to God. You need to give the same grace that God gives you, because we're just a bunch of young people trying to figure it out. And that's okay. Would you want God to have that animosity towards you when you break his heart over and over and over again, when you run back to the alcohol, when you run back to the partying, when you run back to the sleeping around, when you run back to the drugs? That breaks his heart every single time, just like a breakup, every time. And if he can give you that love, if he can give you that grace, if he can bring you back with open arms, I'm not telling you to get back together with your ex, but if he can accept you with open arms like that, who are we to disrespect and to look down on one of God's most precious creations? Who are you to say that your judgment is better than the Lord's about somebody else? Take a moment and take it in, because you have no authority. You have no right to say that God created a mistake, that that person isn't worthy, that that person is terrible. And this leads me into my next point of, we always say, this is something I heard like crazy when my ex and I broke up, was, well, boys suck. Girls suck. People suck. No, they don't. Actually, well, we all suck. Okay, we all suck. But they don't suck. They're just human. And you can't be upset with them because it didn't work out. I mean, come on. Be so real right now. You can't hate someone because they weren't your person. You can't despise someone because God has a greater plan for you. It is time that you shift your perspective about breakups to this is a season I get to be isolated with the Lord. This is a season I get to grow into the future wife I want to be. This is the season that I get to find my future husband. Now, pause, because I do not want you to go searching for your husband in every single situation. However, I also will not sit here and tell you that you have to be perfectly peaceful and content before you have to meet your husband. That's another thing we'll get into at another point in time. Not today, but I am saying do not actively look for a husband before you allow for yourself to do your purpose. If you are placing the search for a husband over God's intention for your life, he is going to hold you back and he's going to break you down and he's going to give you trial after trial after trial until you are where he wants you to be. He is shaping you. He is refining you. He is putting you in the fire to mold you into the woman you are supposed to be for his kingdom, for his future generation, for your future husband, for your future coworkers, for your future barista at Starbucks. He is refining you for his purpose. And I will say it over and over and over again. We are not on this earth for ourselves. So yeah, you had a breakup. Yeah, it sucked. What's next? I can't wait to see what you have for me because I thought that was the best thing possible. And for me, it was just another moment to raise my standards, to see that this is how I should be treated, to see that this is what I don't want, to see that this doesn't work, to see that I was toxic in this situation, to see that maybe I could have changed this, to see that this is where I needed work. It was just another moment to shape you into who you are supposed to be. And I think that that's so important to remember is that God is love. And if it fails, then it wasn't love because he loves you. And his plan for you is only out of love. And I know that you're sitting there and you're like, but I loved him. And I loved him with everything I had. And I loved him as much like Jesus as I could. And it still didn't work out. And I don't understand and I don't get it. Babe, love does not fail. It might have been your idea of love. It might have been the best love you've experienced so far. Just wait. Just wait for what he has for you. Just wait. Take this moment. Love yourself. And I say these words very cautiously because typically after a breakup, we go into these seasons of me, 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 me. How can I be better? How can I do this? How can I, be the hottest girl here? Like I talked about earlier. And I do believe that the single life is such a moment of refinement and self-reflection. But it's not you centered. It's not you focused. It's where can I see him in moments I used to not? How can I change my reactions to exemplify him in everything? How can I not go back into the spiral that I used to have every time I went through a breakup? How can I be different? And a lot of the times we all have the same responses after breakups. We spiral, we cry, we sob, we lock ourselves in our rooms or we deny or we don't feel anything at all. And I think it's really important to identify that you are being brought into a season, not a life, not a lifestyle. This is not the rest of your life. It is only temporary. And you're going to face trials and things are going to feel difficult and things are going to feel impossible. And it really is about how kind you are to yourself in this moment. Don't go thinking, what did I do wrong? Why am I not worthy? Because you are worthy. That's the point. Is God sees your worth and he knows that you're worth more than what you could have how you could have been valued in that relationship. You are worth more than that. And so is he. He is worth more than what you could provide in that relationship. You have to flip the script. Everything that you feel about, well, he's doing this for me, he's doing it for him too. I mean, this is not just a one sided thing. Breakups are tough, breakups are hard. And then the more faithful you are, the more firm your foundation is, the more trials that are going to be thrown at you. And I want to tell you right now, I am not going to sit here and say, don't cry, don't be upset, because that's unrealistic. And I want you to feel your feelings. I really, really do. And but I don't just want you to feel your feelings. I want you to run to him with your feelings. Because a lot of the times, backtrack really fast, a lot of the times in relationships, our significant other becomes the person that we run to before we run to God. If you do that, please fix that. Please change that, because they cannot be your source. They cannot be your foundation. They cannot provide the peace, the security, the love, the correct responses that the Lord can give you. You can go and talk to him about it after, but at least take a moment and be like, hey, God, this sucks. This is what I'm going through. I need you. And then go talk to him about it. That's okay. But do not run to them first. That was a big problem I used to have. Another big problem I used to have would be like, I can't live without you. That's not true. That's not true. You can live without them. You have lived without them. You will be okay. I'm not saying it's going to be immediate. And I'm not saying you have to be totally fine. But I am saying that in those moments where you're angry, where you're frustrated, where you can't see what is going on or the plan, or you just are pissed, you are just mad at God, you are upset at him, you just can't even comprehend your words, that's when you run to him. He wants to know your heart. He doesn't just want to know the good and the happy and the things you're thankful for, and he doesn't want the script. He doesn't want what you think he wants to hear. He wants all of you. And I can promise you, he's going to break you until you give him that. He is going to continue to push and push and push until you finally crack. And you're like, what the heck? Why? And you go to him, and he's all you have left. Y'all, the very first night that not the very first night, the night my boyfriend broke up with me, I was oddly okay, felt totally fine, totally at peace, really weird. I got in bed, and the Lord told me, get on your knees and pray. And I was like, why? Like, I'm fine. I don't need to get on my knees. Like, this is not an earth-shattering moment for me. I don't need to get on my knees. And so I rolled over. I heard it again. Get on your knees and pray to me. My table's moving. And so I did. I got out of bed, got on my knees. Dear Jesus, thank you for this day. I appreciate everything you've given me. Please continue to guide me. Got my little booty back in bed and went to sleep. The next night, pray to me. On your knees. Get out of bed. It's always when I get in bed, too. Get out of bed. Get on your knees. Pray to me. And it wasn't until I still do this. I did this last night. I get on my knees every single night and I pray to him. But they're not out of obligation anymore. They're not out of obedience. They are out of full submission. Last night I was crying so hard I could barely form words. I could barely breathe. My mascara was running down my face. And I got on my knees and I was like, I'm really mad at you right now. I was like, I'm being so obedient. I am doing everything I'm supposed to. I'm shifting my mindset. I am seeing you in everything. I am spreading your gospel. I don't get it. And then I was like, first off, doing everything right doesn't mean anything, because even at my worst, he still loved me the most. His love never changes. His love is unconditional. I'm not getting these trials because I'm not doing good. I'm getting these trials because I can handle it. Because he sees my purpose, he sees my worth, he sees the person I'm going to be, and he's like, you're ready. He wouldn't hand you something you're not ready for. We never feel ready. We never feel prepared. We've never done this before. We've never handled this before. It's like, I heard this joke the other day. It's like being the firstborn child Your parents have never been parents before. You've never been 22 before. You've never been 30 before. Never been 16 before. This is all new. So you have to give yourself grace. You have to allow yourself to really trust him, to fully submit, and to sit there and be like, I'm mad. I don't get it. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to. I'm following you exactly how I'm supposed to. Why is it not getting any easier? Why do I never get to catch a break? I just want to breathe. And the thing is you can't look at life that way. You can't sit there and say, I just want a break. Because my mom told me last night, you don't get a break. This is life, honey. I love you, but this is life. And as much as I hated hearing it, I was like, Mom, I don't want to hear that right now. It I needed it because this is life and this is preparing me for the kind of mom I want to be and the kind of wife I want to be. And this is forming me into someone that I didn't even know I was capable of becoming. 2 years ago, in my Snapchat memories, I went to Baton Rouge before I had transferred to LSU. My little brother's baseball tournament. And let's just say the Snapchats were not the most appealing. Those memories were heartbreaking. I didn't even recognize myself. I don't even know who that girl was, but she was so broken and she was so lost, and she had just dealt with deaths in a family and a breakup, and she just spiraled. And in moments like the ones where I was sobbing, crying, and angry, those those memories popped up at the perfect time because it was like, look at how far you've come. Well done. I am making you resilient. I am making you strong. I am making you into one of my warriors. Look at where you've come from. Take a moment and imagine where you're going to be in 2 years. I can't even express how excited I am to see who I'm going to be. And that's what makes these moments like these breakups or anything, really, any hardships in life, just being kind to yourself and being reminded that the Lord loves you so much anyways. And and yeah, life's going to get hard and it's going to keep getting harder because we're growing up and we're in the real world, and oh, it's so hard. It's so hard. But I'm not I'm not going to stay here. I'm not going to stay in this spot. I'm going to bring glory to him. I don't know how. I don't know how yet. But it's not my job to know. And I can't wait to see where I'm at in 2 years when those Snapchat memories pop up of me sobbing my eyes out. And I'm just like, wow, that moment really, really helped me here. These moments really shaped how I handled these future situations. And we just have to be thankful. And again, I am not saying to dismiss your feelings or to push them down or to push them aside, but just take them to him. The weight just comes off your shoulders when you really let him know your heart, your true heart, your I'm mad, I'm sad, I don't understand, I'm confused. I mean, whatever you got to do, because we're just growing. The one piece of advice that I will give you is don't spiral. Whatever it is that you run to when these breakups happen or these traumatic life events happen, don't run back. I had the most incredible experience in my car today, which is really weird if you used to know me and who I was and what I did. And oh, goodness, what a girl. That was something. Um, but I was sitting in my car and I saw something on my phone and I just went, wow, I am so thankful that I'm saving myself for marriage. And I know this sounds kind of weird because in my head I was like, why did you just say that? Like that's kind of funky. But to me, that was just a reminder of my life is complete chaos. And these moments that I'm dealing with right now, just one of the situations that I'm dealing with right now. I've got like 10 going on right now. just one of the situations that I'm dealing with right now would have sent me into that partying, drinking spiral that I was in 2 years ago. And today I can gladly and firmly, confidently say that I don't have to do that anymore. I don't seek the validation of the world anymore. I don't seek the validation of my exes anymore. I don't care if they see me doing well. I don't care what the rest of the world thinks. All I care about is how firm I am in Jesus and how much I trust Him, because that is the only thing that is going to get me through more moments like these. And they're going to come. Something's going to be added to my plate tomorrow, and then the day after, and probably 50 billion other things. But it doesn't matter because I have my one true Father holding my hand, and I can't even express how peaceful that is. And I will say this, in those prayers where you're being so vulnerable and you're asking for this peace and you're asking for this foundation and you are growing your relationship, pray for that ex. Pray for that person who hurt you. Pray for whatever people are involved in whatever situation you're going through. It doesn't even have to be a breakup. Pray for them because they're still your brother or your sister in Christ. Okay? And they didn't make a mistake. You didn't make a mistake breaking up with them. They didn't make a mistake breaking up with you. Okay? It is God's plan. It is His will. It is His way. And if you thought that that was great, just wait for what He has planned to come. I can't give you a timeline. I can't make you any promises. But I can say that it is going to be absolutely amazing. And the love that you thought you felt is going to be incomparable to the love that's coming to you. So just hold on to that. Thank Him for that. Find peace in His presence. Dwell in His love. Be the best you that you can be, not for you, not for your ex, but for Him and for His kingdom and for His glory. And just know it's going to get harder. It's going to get way harder. And then it's going to get easier. And then it's going to get harder. But that's life. And we're in these seasons. And just keep pushing through because I'm so proud of you. And I know that situations like these are really, really, really hard to deal with. But just run to God. Please, I beg of you, run to God. Run away from the world. And everyone is going to tell you men suck. Everybody's going to tell you screw him. Everybody's going to tell you go party, go to the gym, be your best self, show him what he's missing. Run to God. Find your security in Him. Find your identity in Him. And take a moment and realize this season of singleness is short-lived. Okay? And you might be single until you're 30. You might be single until you're 40. God's plan might be for you to be single for the rest of your life. I don't know. But just know that this particular season of singleness is not going to last forever. His plan for you is so much greater than you know. And if it isn't His plan for you to get married, you only get to be single once. You only get to have this one-on-one intimacy once. And the person that you are working on when you are alone is the kind of mother you're going to be, is the kind of wife that you're going to be. It is the kind of person of society you are going to be. Because in isolation is where true refinement happens. And I know it sucks. I know it's hard. But if it were easy, then everyone would follow God. If it were easy, we wouldn't have a purpose here. If it were easy, the world wouldn't look as broken as it does. So, pick your head up, really focus on your relationship with the Lord, because I can promise you, He has put you in this moment where He is your only significant other. And I know that sounds weird, but He is. He is your only significant other right now. He did it for a reason. I don't know what He's trying to tell you. I don't know if He's saying me first. I don't know if He's saying you need to fix this or you need to start looking for this. I don't know. But I will tell you that it's for your good And I know you hear that all the time, and I know sometimes it's really annoying to just hear, well, I know it's for my good. I know he has a plan. I know. It gets annoying. Trust me. My mom has told me that sometimes, and I'm like, okay, I know, but I just want to be upset. That's okay. Be upset with God. Take it to him. I'm mad at you. You really hurt me. I'm really frustrated. Because how you communicate with God is how you're going to communicate with your future spouse. So once you find a way to respectfully go to him and be like, I'm pissed off. This really hurt my feelings. I don't like how you did this. I don't know what's going on, but work through those problems with him and watch how your life shifts. Watch how the way you deal with your future spouse shifts. Watch how the way you deal with your coworkers shifts. Watch how the way you deal with your kids shift. Because I promise you, every single step you are taking is influencing your future person you are meant to be and you are intended to be. So stop trying to rush to get out of a season and get to a point in life that you're not ready for. And every time you try to rush there, it's going to keep failing. Oh, I want a boyfriend. Okay, well, it's going to fail because you're not ready. Oh, well, he doesn't really go to church, but, he gives me the attention I want. Okay, well, it's going to fail because you're not ready. Because you cannot be comfortable alone. You cannot find your security in the Lord. So you place it in everything else. And of course, that's going to fail. Of course, that's not going to work out because you have worldly desires and you know those are natural. But do not settle because your relationship with the Lord isn't strong enough to satisfy you. Work on that. Work with him. Collaborate with him. He's your friend. He's your father. We should be God-fearing, but he is your friend. He is your best friend, and he wants it all. He wants you all, exactly where you're at, as broken as you are, no matter what you do, no matter what you try to earn, he wants you right where you are. So run to him. Embrace this season of life because you only get it once. You only get to be here once. And I know some of you are like, thank God I only get to be here once. Trust me, right now I'm like, I don't want to ever be here again. Just appreciate it and set little goals. Like, I want to exemplify him in every room I walk into today. Everything else goes wrong, that's fine. I want to see him in the little things today. Okay, everything else goes wrong, you still had a successful day. Find little things that can help you glorify him throughout the day, and the days don't seem so bad. Even though sometimes they're pretty bad. Take a moment, take a deep breath, love yourself, love your season, love him, trust him. It's going to be okay. You've got this. I love you. And remember, we are here to love everybody, regardless of what they've done to us, regardless of the ways they have wronged us. Honey, I know your heart hurts. It's going to be okay. Keep pushing, keep pursuing, keep being resilient, keep trusting. Because the fact that you feel like you lost something so much greater just means that the Lord has an abundance of love that you haven't experienced yet from somewhere else, from a different source. Let that source be him and watch what he does in your life. I love you. Good night.